People look up to the stars in eager expectation. Receiving a visit from outer space sounds almost as comfortable as having a god. Jacques Vallée.
Hearing this, well done. You found a way to connect to the internet. Welcome to the QAA podcast, episode 373, Demons, Disclosure, and the Death of David Wilcock. As always, we are your hosts, Jake Rakitansky,
Julian Fields,
Brad Abrahams,
and Travis View.
Tennessee, early evening. Down a dark, tree-lined street in a sleepy neighborhood, a modest Airbnb sits at the end of a long driveway. Rental cars pull up, one by one, each driven by a different pastor. Some recognize each other from TV or social media. Others are lesser known. At the door stands an imposing man. He takes their phones, placing them in a Faraday bag, one by one. They walk into a sterile living room and are greeted by men who claim to be intelligence operatives. A congressman dials in from Washington. They are told of what is to come with UAP disclosure and to prepare their flocks. The Department of War, late night. The puffy and red-faced Secretary of War sits slumped in a chair at his oversized mahogany desk. He knocks back his fifth gin and soda. In the back corner of the room, a pimply, broccoli-headed intern works nervously on his laptop, leg bouncing. The official slowly focuses his glassy eyes on the kid and says,
"Do it."
A mouse pointer clicks a big publish button, and the war.gov/UFO site goes live. Colorado, late morning. A picturesque mountain town in the foothills of Boulder. Two sheriff deputies pull into the driveway of a modest home with a yard that's gone to seed. Through their windshield, they see a malnourished man sitting on the porch, staring vacantly into space. Suddenly, he puts a gun to his head. He looks at the cops and says,
I'm sorry to put you through this.
He fires, and the last flicker of consciousness of a UFO disclosure guru is extinguished.
Wow, what a beautiful opening.
It took a couple weeks, but I finally recovered from the finale of the Spectral Voyager 2, Time Slip Radio. Whatever entity attached itself to me has mercifully left, and I'm happy to be back on Maine, doing what I do best, alien shit. Now I know back in EP 353, I said I was over disclosure, but things have come to such a maddening crescendo that I feel it's my duty to report back to you. Today, I'll be weaving three stories that seem separate, but feed into each other in a worrying cycle of a samsara of insanity. The first is the biggest UFO event in modern government history. The file dump the community has been waiting for 20 years, and what was delivered versus what was promised. The second is the shift in how a huge chunk of Americans, including high-profile politicians, are interpreting all of it. More specifically, that ETs aren't aliens, but biblical demons and angels hearkening the end times. The last is about the death of David Wilcock, a man who spent decades prophesying about this exact disclosure moment. A New Age UFO icon and QAnon figure who shot himself in his driveway 2.5 weeks before the files dropped. These three stories converge into a mirror of the complete cultural unmooring we're all experiencing, and when mixed with our current apocalyptic geopolitics, threatens to take the collective consciousness over with a frenzied madness.
Speaking of frenzied madness, if I had told myself, at 13 years old, I'd be like, hey man, guess what? In 2026, the government is going to release every single file and video that they have on UFOs and extraterrestrials. Like the government, the president's going to do it. And guess what? You won't give one fucking shit. It won't even be a blip on. You'll kind of stream through a couple of the videos on Twitter, be like, and you'll go back to doing something dumb.
Yep.
You'll have to explain what Twitter was, but yeah, that sounds like how the conversations go.
Depending on how old you were, yeah.
I'd be like, okay, you know how when you're in the locker room after gym class and you think maybe you're being made fun of. Now imagine a whole website devoted to this.
Imagine an entire website by a department called War, and it's just a big, soft, wet shit on the chest of anyone who cared about anything like this.
Operation Pursue.
Coast to Coast, Newsmax, Fox, Greer, Bigelow, DeLong, Elizondo, Lazar, Grush, Colbert, Coolhart, Kirkpatrick, Atip, Nimitz, Tic Tac. Names and terms you've been hearing for 20 years, all repeating the same word to a point it's become an abstract collection of phonemes.
Disclosure, disclosure, disclosure.
But in February of this year, we saw the first signs that this might actually happen. Trump had directed Pete Hegseth to start releasing the files and announced it in a Truth Social post.
Based on the tremendous interest shown, I'll be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon UAP, and unidentified flying objects UFOs, and any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America.
They're interesting, like, I guess, despite being highly complex. Like, they're important despite that. He's like, listen, usually good things are simple, but...
Very interesting. This is Trump from like 5 years ago, by the way. Trump now would be like, it's quite different now, but for, listening purposes.
I get bored paying attention to anything for longer than 20 seconds, but some people, some weirdos are into this. I don't get it. Have fun.
The promise was thousands, even millions of previously classified documents, dozens of never-before-seen UAP videos, paradigm-shifting revelations. Here are a few of the usual suspects, all hyping for disclosure in their own self-obsessed way, feeding the frenzy. First up is Tim Burchett, the Tennessee rep.
Oh no, now I have to see who's in charge.
Yes,
Oh.
they're all in charge.
I'll just tell you this, if they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up, you'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. I'll just tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue. It would have set the earth on. This country would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers, and we need to. But, it's never going to get, unfortunately, it just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. God, I hate Bethel the worst.
He looks like he's getting plenty of sleep. What the fuck is he talking about?
Also, it's like what I saw would set the world on fire. No one would be able to handle it. That's why we need to release it.
Yeah, it's going to give everybody an instant heart attack and kill half the planet. Release it now!
He fell asleep on the couch watching like Independence Day 2 on like TNT or something, and like woke up and thought that it had been like, that it was something shown to him in some like black room.
And here's Lou Elizondo saying gravely,
Let me give you my word of advice, Lou's advice on how we should deal with this topic. I think we should love our families. I think we need to spend more time with our children.
What?
What the hell is this garden gnome
I
up
don't
to?
know, whatever that means.
His hair is so crazy. Like, his facial hair is as if a soul patch attempted to take over your chin.
These guys are all sitting in what look like nice places to live with fast enough internet that their videos are coming through. What I don't understand why everybody's so desperate to be in like the ends. I just don't get it.
It's just good for clicks.
I think it's just fun. I think they're just having a good time.
They're in their own movie. That's it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Matt Getz, supposedly vindicated on sex trafficking charges, had the most outlandish take.
I think the most important information will be the biologics that are not human that have been discovered. And like even some of the briefings that aren't classified just need to be out in the public. I mean, I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication. An actual uniformed member of the United States Army briefed me on that. And what they explained is that the military ran a very secret program where aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants.
That's when they care about the migrants, right? Is when
Yeah.
they're being taken by UFOs.
Yeah, or the sex trafficking. And I like the detail. It's like a guy came into his office in uniform and started like ranting about all of this. Like he just assumes he's part of the government.
Yeah, it's
military.
like Matt. Did you notice any hidden cameras anywhere?
No.
Just so pathetic that we are like, that there's power in the hands of anybody this stupid.
I know.
Just the blankest, roundest fucking face, mumbling about some other moron walking into his fucking office and blabbing.
Yeah. You just Googled, do age of consent laws apply to extraterrestrials?
Yeah.
I know, it's like the coolest story ever being told by the least reliable storytellers. It makes me feel sick to my stomach.
The wait was finally over. All was revealed on May 8th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Department of War X account announced it with a post in all caps.
Department of War releases unidentified anomalous phenomena files in historic transparency effort.
All in caps. Trump truthed this that same morning.
What the hell is going on? Have fun and enjoy.
It's so disappointing.
What the
It's so disappointing. There's no way that if you were releasing something cool and interesting, you would be like, what the hell is going on? You would know, right? Like, but instead, that tells you everything you need to know. The prompt for what you're about to experience is what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
That's it. We want to know what the hell is going on. That's what the drop is supposed to tell us what the hell is going on. We've been doing what the hell is going on for decades. For fucking decades. You're telling us we have to keep going, have fun and enjoy? Thanks, Dad. Fuck you, Dad.
By the way, you know that he's typing this with like a log, halfway inside and halfway outside of his body.
Yeah, just incredible. What the hell is going on? At least he had the dignity to put a single question mark there. It's written like a child.
He's really telling you all that you can do, like in modern times, is what the hell is going on? Have fun and enjoy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I guess this is your shit, you morons. You absolute fucking dunces. I guess this is the type of shit that interests you, huh?
The White House also tweeted this, you guys describe.
All right, this is the official White House account. It says zoom in with a little, kind of making the small penis emoji to see a Monday morning message.
Small penis
okay, and this is one of the pictures of the UAPs, which looks like two little pieces of shit. It looks like two little pieces of goat shit, honestly, like on like a television, on like a white television that's turned to like channel 0. And then if you zoom all the way in, there's tiny white text that says "Make America Great Again," and that's how you know that all of this is truly unserious. They're doing like Find the Sniper with UFO declass on the official White House account. I really didn't imagine things getting this
stupid, yeah.
Stupid, yeah.
The drop could be accessed at war.gov/UFO. It was called PURSUE, an acronym for Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters. It was labeled Release 01, a hint of more to come. Like everything this administration does, the design of the site is theatrical. It looks like a GUI reminiscent of 80s films like War Games, with a terminal-like typeface and a gallery of ominous black and white photos. The main page has this quote from Hegseth.
These files, hidden behind classifications, have long fueled justified speculation, and it's time the American people see it for themselves.
Yeah, which really just meant they're not going to tell us what they think it is, and it's just up to the public to figure it out.
Yeah, do your own research.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And did they deliver on their promise? Did we get thousands of secret documents and dozens of shocking videos, paradigm-shifting revelations? No, we got 120 PDFs and a couple dozen photos and videos of blurry dots. Are you guys surprised?
No, not after remember when they gave the fucking Epstein files, quote unquote, to people in little binders and took photos of them? This president is
the equivalent.
He's never gone out of his way so much to shit on anybody who was a conspiracy theorist who believed in him.
Yes,
he really has served up just the biggest dog shit, and he's like, "You like this, don't you? Yeah, that's right, moron, you big moron." You're like, it's just patting you on the head.
When it comes to pilled people and conspiracy theorists, I don't think there's ever been a more disappointing president, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah, it is truly atrocious.
He doesn't even let them dream, you know?
No.
Yeah.
No, he didn't even fuck up the system in like a somewhat interesting way that he promised. Like I think everybody's life is probably about like 17 times worse since Trump entered our lives.
Very honestly, nothing is better than this, because nothing, at least you get to keep the mystery.
Exactly.
You get to think like, well, they have some stuff back there that they don't want to show you. But when they show you what they have, and it's just a bunch of blurry JPEGs and just people scratching their heads going, oh, it's just, it takes away everything.
Yeah.
It takes away everything. It really, truly, this is like a terminal state. I can understand why they're all spinning out on YouTube and why David Wilcock blew his brains out, because it's like, if he has an ounce of intelligence and had like a little tiny bit of him that wasn't a grifter that still believed that like maybe something would come out one day,
Yeah.
forget
That's
about it.
The files are made up of State Department cables, FBI correspondence, NASA astronaut transcripts, and mission reports. They start back in the 50s and 60s with some genuinely fun cultural artifacts of the time. Letters from citizens writing to J. Edgar Hoover asking if they could subscribe to a flying saucer magazine, or warning him that saucer clubs might be communist fronts. There are Apollo mission transcripts of astronauts trying to figure out if the floating thing they just saw was a UFO. Online commentators jumped on this, even though the transcripts and photos have been around since the 70s. And if you actually read them, the astronauts prosaically talk about the sightings as probably debris from the rocket booster, a piece of urine ice, or a satellite.
I mean, very honestly, like saying that they thought that the saucer clubs were potentially communist just says so much, because it means like they're basically just admitting, listen, we have like some experimental like vehicles that we have been testing, and so we're scared that like people paying attention to UFOs like might be infiltrated by communists. It's another like big shit in the open hands of the UFO community.
I love that there's like such a wide spectrum of belief in Americans, that like you can go from people believing that like we didn't go to the moon at all and it was a soundstage, to people believe that like we went to the moon, like saw aliens and then covered them up.
Yeah. The modern stuff is mostly redacted, which is unsurprising, but also kind of insulting after 20 years of buildup. The notes are filled with terms for sensors like RF, SWIR, FMV, IR, MX, and the sightings are classified as UAP or UAV, but also more benign observations like balloons, birds, and sensor artifacts, or even weather. Very rarely do we get accompanying images or video. And when we do, they are those aforementioned fuzzy dots. And here are a couple examples.
Yeah.
It's just more fuzzy dots.
Just a dot, yeah.
Very honestly, like a piece of like a bird shit attached to a sensor or something. Like it
Could be anything. Yeah. One image stood out, however. Will someone please describe this one, which was front and center on the website?
It looks like a some sort of like honestly, it looks like a pill, some sort of like supplement, like some sort of it looks like fish oil in
It's
one of those
laxative,
capsules, and that's sort of floating in the sky, and it looks like it's crashing into something that's sort of like exploding. There's some sort of a sun starburst. It's above a grassy field. It looks like something you'd whip up in Photoshop in 2 seconds.
And that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's not a photo. It is a drawing, which they admit underneath. And will someone read this official description from the site?
Actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating eyewitness reports from September 2023 of an apparent ellipsoid bronze metallic object materializing out of a bright light in the sky, 130 to 195 feet in length and disappearing instantaneously.
Yeah. And so here's a super cut I made of some of the videos, and would love for you guys to give me your takeaway after watching.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, okay.
There's nothing, and it's when there is anything, it's
that's
kind of,
obviously a weather balloon. You could fucking see.
You could see the trail.
there was a bird definitely in one of the previous ones.
Oh, there's something. I mean, again, these are like UAP in like the broadest definition of the term. They're unidentified. There's something in the air, and that's a phenomenon. They can't even say what it might be, or if it's even like worth being weirded out by.
Yeah, and they're just dots that are flying across the screen, and there's no context. Like, how far is this dot from the camera, from the background? It could literally be a speck.
Yeah, what was this shot from? Like any context, right? Like they've completely stripped it of context, and they're just throwing it at you like you're scrolling like through like somebody's forgotten folder on their computer.
Yeah. Out of them all, though, this one was pretty weird and like hard for me to classify.
Okay. Yeah, it's a weird undulating shape. I don't know. It kind of looks almost like a sometimes it's footage of a jellyfish or something, but it's midair.
Yeah, and they call it the football for some reason.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was accompanied by this text.
Old Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW, consisting of 9 seconds of video footage from an infrared sensor aboard a U.S. military platform in 2024. The sensor focuses on an area of contrast that resembles a football-shaped body with 3 radial projections, 1 oriented vertically and 2 oriented downward at a 45-degree angle relative to the major axis of the main mass.
So there you go.
Almost like a blimp.
Yeah, almost like a blimp, you're right. The files aren't entirely a bust, though. There were a few genuinely weird cases that got the Mulder and me intrigued. One was a collection of sightings in a PDF titled Western U.S. In the first report, federal law enforcement agents in restricted desert terrain saw orange mother orbs launching smaller red orbs in groups of 2 to 4. They saw this happen 5 times over 2 evenings. Another agent saw a large fiery orb that he compared to the Eye of Sauron, and another agent called it an orange electrified bowling ball. It was hovering by a rock pinnacle, looking like it was possibly tethered to the terrain.
That orb is mother.
In that same deck, an agent saw what he could only describe as a dark kite, or transparent kite, that hovered 6 meters off the ground and seemed to follow their vehicle. His partner pointed a flashlight at it, and the beam seemed to stop midair, even though the object looked transparent. That sounded cool to me, at least. Yeah. Another weird one is a report from last year in a redacted location. It describes a helicopter pilot who saw a swarm of orbs, one coming within 10 feet of the helicopter. He described them as orange oval orbs with white-yellow centers, which seemed super hot and repeatedly flared up and down. The orbs appeared to break off and pursue other military aircraft. Most of the report, though, is unfortunately redacted, and none of these have any accompanying images or video, of course.
Obviously, demons. These are probably demons.
And the next one from 1994 is the best classic UFO case. A 747 Air Tajik flight over Kazakhstan. The entire flight crew witnessed a bright object at extreme altitude, making corkscrew 90-degree turns for a full 40 minutes. The report was filed with the U.S. Embassy, and the State Department replied with,
"We have no opinion."
That one, to me, like that sounds pretty weird, and I wonder if it could be like a plasma ball or something in the upper atmosphere.
Yeah, maybe these are more like interdimensional, sort of like aliens.
Yeah. A couple others caught my eye for just how bizarre they were, culturally speaking. Do you guys remember those disclosure hearings in Mexico where that known that known hoaxer Jaime Maussan carted out a supposed cadaver of an ET, and it
I love this little guy.
Yeah, it turned out to be a doll that was made of like animal bones and paper mache. So that one made it into the UFO files with a note that pilot Ryan Graves said it distracted from UAP experiences and called it an unsubstantiated stunt.
We hope you Mexicans stop fucking around and get serious about this soon. Stop giving us your little paper mache dolls and their little beds that you made for them.
My absolute favorite of the bunch, though, comes in the form of a cable from Turkmenistan. The Union of Ufologists of Turkmenabat somehow became one of the U.S. government's most reliable NGO partners in the country. They helped with small business registration, humanitarian distribution, and NGO registration because, in their words, everyone's interested in UFOs. The cable says the organization began as a group studying life on other planets, then became practical, forming a local brain trust of lawyers, scientists, computer experts, accountants, and teachers. They said they made their money from massage courses.
All right.
Very weird detail there, yeah.
Wow.
The reaction online split into a few defined camps, each acting as if they saw completely different documents. The unwavering believers made a few of the meager videos and images go viral, and one in particular was this.
Oh, that is very strange. Yeah, some weird, like, I don't know, star shape. It looks like a kind of just floating there. Yeah, that's odd.
It's Ezekiel's wheel.
Yeah. So they jumped on this as being proof of the spiritual nature of the phenomenon, that it could perhaps be a biblically accurate angel, and drawing parallels to ancient Sumerian carvings, or even Kal-El's ship from the original Superman. Acting as a counterbalance are the staunch, sometimes aggressive debunkers like Mitch West and Stephen Greenstreet. They were quick to explain this is a well-known infrared sensor artifact or diffraction spike, where the sensors themselves have hexagonal shapes. So you can see here, like there's an example of one that's a known sensor spike. And yeah, it looks exactly the same, just a bit brighter.
Gotcha.
And it's apparently common with images of stars from the James Webb Telescope too, which also has a hexagonal shape. And it also seems like a parachute is being deployed in the video. So watch this one, which highlights that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I see it. So yeah, it's just an optical artifact.
Yeah, that seems like whatever's on the end of the parachute is just really bright and is causing it to flare. Another clip also ignited passionate discourse among the believers. Retired Navy Rear Admiral Timothy Gallaudet declared it impossible to explain as human-made. But super debunker Mick West strikes again to defuse the explosion.
The one that stood out to me is this UFO that is moving around a wind farm in the Indo-Pacific region. And it's absolutely remarkable that this object is maneuvering around these wind turbines, and it can't be explained.
Can't be explained? Let's give it a go. The video shares some aspects with others in this release. It's thermal, looks like black is hot, it's really zoomed in, it's shot from a moving aircraft, the MQ-9 drone, which is cruising at around 200 miles per hour. It's also being manually tracked. There's no lock on the object, so the drone operator is following it around with manual controls using a joystick, kind of like an Xbox controller.
After explaining how the apparent 180-degree turn was really just the drone itself turning, he goes on.
But how is it actually moving relative to the real background? The way to find out is to stabilize it, which I did with Sitrek's built-in tracking tools, generating a stabilized video. So now we see, rather than weaving around on screen, the object is actually traveling in a relatively straight line with respect to the background. This is very consistent with something like a balloon and the parallax effect from the camera moving, like we've seen with many other videos like GoFast and Aguadilla. What remains is, unfortunately, mundane-looking objects moving in mundane ways, simply too far away to be identified, but probably balloons.
Boo! Get this guy out of here. Fuck this guy.
More balloons.
I love how calm his voice is compared to everyone else that sort of rants about this stuff. Yeah. Then there were the disclosure advocates who felt deflated and defeated by the drop, frustrated by the slow drip of documents. Some reactions from Reddit and other forums here.
Enjoy raking through 80% plus BS.
There is simply nothing, absolutely nothing that hasn't been disclosed before.
Fake and Galian psyop.
Super soft, flaccid disclosure.
This is it? Ha ha ha. Fucking nothing.
And then these maximum levels of cope.
Patrick Webb tweets, breaking, in all caps, the CIA is reportedly obstructing the disclosure of UAPs, UFOs, and potential alien life per Ross Coulthard.
And
serious. What could possibly be so scary that they won't release some information in the UAP files instead of this constant stream of clearly fake quote-unquote evidence?
Yes, that's a great Redditor voice there. There will be more files, and who knows, maybe some real head-scratchers could be revealed. But this drop...
Yeah, I'm scratching my fucking head.
This drop was pure theatrics, not even close to matching the hype. But, my takeaway is that there is a sort of paradigm shift that happened, that after decades of ridicule, the State Department now treats these mysterious sightings as acceptable enough to file and, strange enough to preserve, that UAPs are now just another bureaucratic category to file things away under, for things they can't explain, and convenient for objects or phenomena they don't want to explain.
Definitely demons.
Within hours of the May 8 release, social media was amplifying a specific take that's been metastasizing in recent years. The phenomena isn't aliens, it's demons. One of the many such reactions that's emblematic of the whole was by @IrishPatriot9, whose bio reads,
Cross emoji, guided by Jesus Christ, Ireland emoji, information war, peace over panic, digital warrior, frog emoji, # save the children worldwide, diamond emoji.
He tweeted this.
These aren't aliens. These are demons, straight from the pit of hell, just like the Bible.
Straight from the pit of hell, just like the Bible, means that the Bible comes straight from the pit of hell.
Yeah, a Bible also from hell. Bible also from hell.
The Bible's from hell?
The
It's straight
Bible's from hell.
Pit of hell?
What the hell? The Bible.
This sort of framing used to be isolated to the far religious fundamentalist right. It was roundly ridiculed, but now it's become the dominant religious framing of the entire release. It's being parroted by the highest echelons of political office and the most popular media figures. But it isn't a new idea. In fact, it's even older than Roswell, predating the modern movement entirely. Jacques Vallée, the French-American computer scientist, UFO philosopher, and the model for Lacombe in Close Encounters, explored this idea from the start of his career. In his book Passport to Magonia from 1969, he mapped modern UFO encounters onto medieval fairy abductions and folkloric demonology. And in Messengers from Deception in 79, he posited that UFO entities could be manipulative intelligences seeding a new religion. That's where the opening quote from this episode came from about how receiving a visit from space is as comfy as having a god. It's important to note that Vallée, who laid the groundwork for this framing, was a Rosicrucian and owned hundreds of books about angels. If you recall episode 264, Radcath Apocalypse, I talked about the Most Holy Family Monastery, headed by two fake Benedictine monk brothers who, back in 2009, declared that UFOs were elaborate demonic hoaxes meant to deceive mankind. More recently was the incredibly influential book American Cosmic from 2019 by Diana Pasulka. Diana is a religious studies professor and was a consultant on the Conjuring films. In the book, she talks about her fieldwork at the Vatican Archive and Vatican Space Observatory. The central character is the pseudonymous Tyler D., a never-named scientist with patents and security clearances who claimed to help figure out why the Challenger crashed. He also believes off-world intelligences are downloading patents into his brain. At the end of the book, Pasulka takes him to Rome, where he has an epiphany and converts to Catholicism. Pasulka appeared on Rogan, Lex Friedman, Sean Ryan, and the Mysterious Universe podcast. She's one of the most academically credentialed voices reframing this as a spiritual phenomena. And speaking of Rogan, besides hosting a curious number of guests who've been in the Epstein files, he's also one of the main outlets for the biblical framing to reach a mass audience. Every figure in this world has sat in the guest chair, from Thiel to Pasulka, Gary Nolan, Elizondo, Anna Paulina Luna, Tim Burchett, and more. And although he says he isn't religious, he seems to be particularly taken by this demonological position for some reason. And this platform has undoubtedly ignited the mainstreaming of this belief, with high-ranking politicians and other figures declaring it on primetime. So, starting from the relative fringes all the way to the top, here are some clips. So first is Thiel on Rogan, with his typical militaristic and totally incoherent framing on the subject.
I always wonder, that I'm about to give, but what the alien civilization can be like. And if you have faster than light travel, if you have warp drive, which is probably what you really need to cover interstellar distances, what that means for military technology is that you can send weapons at warp speed, and they will hit you before you see them coming. And there is no defense against a warp speed weapon. And you could sort of take over the whole universe. And so the Pasulka literal thing I'd come to is the aliens, it's not that they might be demons or angels, they must be demons or angels if you have faster than light travel.
God,
It just makes no sense.
So
What?
stupid.
These rich guys.
and
This is like
evil.
You know how in Titanic, like they're the like rich guys after dinner are like, join me and Mr. Guggenheim in the library for cigars or something. Like this is what these rich guys talk about now. Like back then it was probably like stocks or I don't know, whatever, the ticker technology or something, building skyscrapers, owning banks, that kind of thing. But now you've got guys like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel sitting in a hot tub being like, I wonder if they could destroy us at the speed of light weaponry, and they've got weapons,
Yeah.
and they're traveling at the speed of light, then there's no way that they could actually be aliens. And Thiel's like, yes, yes. Yeah, it's like, actually, in fact, it would make no sense at all if they were aliens or extraterrestrials. Really, it would have to be some kind of demonic, even, or angelic force. It could be for good. It could be for good of angelic force. And Thiel's like, yes!
But
God! And then they go on Joe Rogan, and Rogan's like, yeah, what do you really think mass weapons of light? And then now we've got people being like, whoa, we need a Joe Rogan of the left. Like what do you mean? Like a guy who can spit like a different kind of idiot to platform like other idiots that believe in nonsense? Everybody's talking nonsense. I'm like disassociating listening to all of this stuff.
I thought Julian was the Joe Rogan of the left.
No, I'm clearly not the Joe Rogan of the left. I think the closest thing to a Joe Rogan on the left, an interviewer like this who's actually interested in a more potentially interesting and in-depth, kind of interview style is Joshua Citarella of Doomscroll.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm going to appear on his show soon.
Yeah, I was like, are you gonna couch this in the fact that you're in New
Boy.
York currently?
Yeah.
Yes, I am going to
Cross-promotion
couch
here.
it in that. I'm going to put it in bed with that too. I'm going to sandwich myself between those little sheets.
But Joshua's not an idiot. Like Joe Rogan lights up a big fat cigar and he's like, so he goes, so you really think that they were putting nanomachines in the Play-Doh? I don't know. It makes sense.
We said
He's an
on the
idiot.
left, dude. On the right, like you have to assume they're idiots. The fucking Nazis were looking for like the Ark of the Covenant and thought Atlantis was real. Like, sorry, man. The right's always going to be that way. The left has to be a smart version of it.
All right. Well, P's and Q's, carrots and tomatoes,
So well put.
Thanks.
Here's the very pilled Republican congressperson from the great state of Florida, Anna Paulina Luna, tying the Book of Enoch to the phenomena.
The Book of Enoch.
Oh, the Book of
I'll tie it to the Book of Eli.
Like, explain the nuttiness of the Book of Enoch to people.
Well, it's okay. So if you read it, it talks about the fall of angels, thus creating really the precursor of civilization that led to the first flood, to talk about angels mixing with mankind and then seeding a super essentially race of humans. And then, you're going back to this whole concept of if you have this information pertaining to UAPs, whatever they might be, the origins. I mean, if you have a understanding of what Enoch was talking about, kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Listen, one time I took Ibogaine and I fucked the Archangel Gabriel. What do you want?
Look. Can you break down the structure? And Mary had a little lamb. Okay, well, Mary had a little lamb, and what we do know is that its fleece was white as snow. And what we also know is that everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Yeah, and this lamb was sure to go, and it's crazy. It's following Mary around all the time.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Jamie, can you bring up a picture of a lamb with a fleece as white as snow?
Yeah, this is easy. Here's the one and only former House Rep MTG on HBO's Bill Maher back in November.
It's Halloween. Let me just ask the final question for the panel. Do you think demons and the devil are real?
Absolutely. I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I definitely, and I believe those could be fallen angels.
All these things could be real. Fallen angels?
Yeah, fallen
The
angels.
aliens are fallen angels.
That's possible. I think that's what they could be. That's what makes sense in my worldview.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes sense in my
Right.
worldview.
Yeah.
At least that's somewhat honest.
Well,
And here's current Colorado Congressperson Lauren Boebert from her car.
Oh.
The more I see the Old Testament and what was told to us there of fallen angels and Nephilim. I mean, this is in the Bible. There's nothing that says that fallen angels, that Nephilim just disappeared. And so I believe that this could be an aspect of it. There are things that we have seen that could resemble portals. And so what I've seen, I wouldn't, put it as, Marvin the Martian kind of thing. But I do believe that this is more spiritual. And if you really want to go there, demonic.
Thank you. That's U.S. Congresswoman Boebert from her car.
Yeah, from her car.
These are all fucking Congress people that are saying this shit,
Yeah.
We are so far off the map.
Actually, I think you're exactly on the kind of religious manic map that America's always been on. Like, do you think this is new that Congress people believe this? Oh my God, it must have been way worse in the past.
No, because look. Because if you were born in the 80s and you lived up till now, it sort of felt like maybe we were finally kind of growing out of this, and it was like a rubber band got snapped real bad against your tush, and we're sort of
What the fuck?
we've just been sort of
What
like
is
slung
going
back,
on?
Did someone do this to you?
Huh?
Did someone do that
What
to you?
is happening? The way he thinks.
What? No, I'm just trying to think of like the most kind of upsetting kind of slap back sting that one could receive.
Yeah, what if someone took a cane and just whacked my tush, just slapped it?
All right. Do you guys remember when Tucker Carlson, the most listened to personality in the country, claimed he was scratched by demons in bed?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So the same bed that he shares with 4 big dogs that definitely didn't scratch him in their sleep.
I wake up with scratches all the time. You know what? It's like if you eat chips in bed, if you eat crackers in your bed,
Oh my God.
you can get caught on the crop.
Your chips are fucking so stale and hard, they're cutting into you.
You're scratching yourself with chips in bed?
His bed is just full of the little crumbs, and he's rolling around in it, and it's breaking the skin. It's breaking the skin. He's all scratched up. Oh, the vision of this life, this life you lead.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, wait until he tells you about like taking apart small metallic objects near his bed.
boy.
I mean, those nights are really bloody.
Yeah.
Over the last weekend, I was trying to install a new rug alone in my house, and I had propped up this really heavy bed, and I had propped up the thing with a squatty potty, like a wooden squatty potty from Amazon, as like a jack, so that I could get under there and try to pull the carpet. And there was a moment where I realized I was like, I could kill myself, right? Like if this squatty potty gives way, like this entire bed could like come down and like crush my chest. And I like quietly like crawled out from under the bed. And I like removed the squatty potty, and I just sort of like inched the, and it was fine. Everything worked out. But like, I gotta be real careful.
Yeah. You're always about one squatty potty away from death.
So Tucker's also taken up the biblical framing. Here he is on Megyn Kelly's show, being asked about the subject with flawless logical deduction.
What we're seeing, these phenomena are spiritual phenomena. They've been here forever. There's a lot of evidence of that in the written record going back thousands of years. They're angels and demons, of course. The way to know what the truth is by figuring out what they're trying to prevent you from believing. And if you look at the U.S. government propaganda, DOD propaganda, on the question of UFOs, UAPs, the one thread that connects all of it is that these are not supernatural. These are little green men from Mars. They're weather phenomenon. They're experimental aircraft. The one thing that they don't want you to believe is that they are spiritual entities.
Great deduction there.
Yeah, he's another dunce. No wonder people's brains are cooked. It's like, this is the type of commentary that you have, and people have to go, yeah, I wonder if it's that or something else. It's like the options we're given are just, wow.
Yeah.
Just a true buffet of shit.
He's like, it's definitely angels and demons, of course.
Yeah. He takes it further and theorizes that the U.S. government made a deal with the demons in exchange for nuclear technology.
And there is a lot of informed speculation that the U.S. government has participated in this, and that defense technology, in particular nuclear technology, is the product of that. I will say one extremely interesting thing that no one seems to know is that it's not exactly clear where nuclear technology came from.
Yes,
it
not
is.
clear at all. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you on about?
Oh my God.
Like, does he mean that like splitting the atom is like somewhat of a mysterious process? Like, because I do understand how that could seem really cool and mysterious. It seems that he's not saying that though.
No, it's the technology part, how we could make technology out of it. That must be aliens or demons or angels. Yeah.
This is like the end game of like American capitalism. Is that like once you like gain so much money that like you don't have to worry about that anymore, it becomes like an end game kind of like, okay, well, how do I like live forever? And the easiest way is to adopt this ideology that you're in some kind of spiritual war, and you can spend that back half in your fucking nice air conditioned basement with like a PS5 Pro, maybe. You know, you're like, Tucker is not having any hardships. Like, he's going around, going on shows, getting to talk about whatever the fuck he wants to talk about in his nice vests, sleeps in a nice big bed out in the woods. I'm sure all of his material needs are taken care of. And so, like, what else is there but to move on to this?
You mean to being a dishonest liar? Like,
What else is there?
total
Yeah,
No, he's always been that. I mean, fully diving into like the D&D campaign of like, we're in a spiritual war, and like everything I see is going to be interpreted through that lens.
The most high profile of all is the holder of the second highest office of the executive branch, Vice President J.D. Vance. Here he is on one of the most popular shows online, the Benny Johnson Pod. declaring this.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
Well, I can't let you go without a follow-up on that. So you think they're demons?
Well, look, I think that celestial beings who fly around, who do weird things to people, I mean, every great world religion, including Christianity, the one that I believe in, has understood that there are weird things out there. And there are things that are very difficult to explain. And I naturally go, when I hear about sort of extra natural phenomenon, that's where I go to, is the Christian understanding that, there's a lot of good out there, but there's also some evil out there.
Makes you think. It really makes you think.
Yeah. So interestingly, critiques of his proclamation came from the Catholics. The progressive Catholic site where Peter is published a piece called J.D. Vance versus the Little Green Men and accused him of
thinly veiled nihilism, posturing as Christian. The vice president, a neophyte in the faith by his own testimony, is at an intersection point between these two strains. Turn on the lights and get off the internet, man. Go play with your kids, read a book, learn some theology maybe, and forget Area 51. What you need is Article 51.
That brings us to the most absurd development in the angels and demons discourse, which I hinted at in the intro of the ep. A group of pastors all claim that during the National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Tennessee in February, a select few were summoned to an out-of-the-way Airbnb at night. After being forced to turn off their phones, a group of men introduced themselves as intelligence officers with governmental connections. They were warned that disclosure was coming and that people would not be ready for it. They should prepare their flocks. A bishop named Alan Didio said this.
It was the strangest meeting I've ever been invited to in my life.
And here's a clip straight from Tony Merkel, who claimed to be there.
They gathered a lot of intel, and they came to believe that what is happening is deeply spiritual. What people are experiencing is deeply spiritual, and that what the majority of the experiences are when it comes to, let's just say for generic surface level terminology, abductions, alien abductions, is demonic in nature, and there's an element of this UAP phenomenon and entity phenomenon that is fueled by fallen angels and fallen angel technology.
Fallen angel technology, yeah.
He goes on here.
It is happening very soon, and pastors need to be very aware of this so that when whatever information comes out as to this disclosure, there will be a narrative spun. I believe there will be a narrative spun. Let me say it that way. I believe there will be a narrative spun. They have strong opinions and feelings that whatever comes out could possibly be part of a great deception talked about in Matthew 24, 2 Thessalonians, and their desire was to get pastors understanding the significant weight of the matter so that they can turn around and be personally prepared to lead their congregation through a very stark spiritual season of our culture.
It's a 2,000-year-old book that they think predicted the future. That's what this is.
Here's another one of the evangelists, Perry Stone.
What they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures, and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
Yeah, one of the pastors made this explosive claim, that Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson dialed into the meeting and said,
aliens invented Christianity.
Burleson immediately disputed this, saying he did call in, but did not say anything close to that. The claim that these were government-connected intelligence officers also collapsed, and were demoted to Christian intelligence officers with no connection to the government.
What, they work for like the Holy See?
Yeah. Even more bizarre is that these aren't pastors with large flocks or even large online presences. Some of them aren't even pastors at all. just guys with X accounts that apparently were there. So I'm thinking this is going to come out as some like new Borat movie or new Sacha Baron Cohen movie or something where they've punked all these pastors.
Well, Jesus did say, "You are from below, I am from above. You are of this world, I am not of this world." Think about it.
Okay.
We've got two types of atheism currently going on in this podcast.
So why is this all coming to a head now? The government has made UAP an official government category, and Christians, as a dominant force in the culture and administration, have to reckon with that. The biblical literalists either cede to secular institutions like NASA and the Pentagon, or they take control of the narrative and fold it into their own beliefs. If aliens are real, their creation story is in trouble. But if aliens are demons, fallen angels as in the book of Enoch, the creation story is confirmed. They can turn this existential uncertainty into a sort of spiritual warfare, and the faithful don't have to revise a single thing they already thought.
The death of a false prophet.
The epicenter where disclosure and the demonological shift meet is precisely at the recent death of a UFO guru named David Wilcock. David was born on March 8th, 1973, in Schenectady, New York. His father, Donald, was a professional blues journalist and co-authored the legendary Buddy Guy's biography, Damn Right I've Got the Blues. David was a curious, introspective kid, drawn to reading, journaling, science, and lemon cake.
I mean, can't blame him.
His mother said that even from a young age, he had
a deep curiosity about telepathy, lucid dreaming, the occult, palmistry, and the predictions of Nostradamus.
By his own account, he started practicing ESP by age 7. He was reading tarot by junior high, lucid dreaming by his junior year of high school, and writing metaphysically inspired fiction as a teenager. He initially took after his father, minoring in jazz studies at SUNY New Platts, and graduated with a BA in psychology in '95. He applied to grad school at the Buddhist-inspired Naropa University in Boulder, but didn't get in, so he put his BA to good use and got a job at a psychiatric hospital. He only lasted a few weeks. The origin story of his pilling mirrors a lot of other figures we've covered. It was a single offhand remark from a friend of a friend, an alleged ex-NASA scientist, who told him it was common knowledge at NASA that UFOs had been recovered from crash sites. This single, sourceless rumor changed the trajectory of his entire life. That same year, he read Richard Hoagland's Monuments of Mars, which further propelled him down the rabbit hole. Around this time, his Japanese girlfriend named Yumi told him that a Shinto shaman predicted that he'd become a famous spiritual leader. He took it to heart, but this whole thing sounds like a my girlfriend from Canada situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my girlfriend from Japan said.
Yeah, she said that I was actually a Japanese spirit.
By age 23, Wilcock was doing deep trance channeling work, where a voice distinctly unlike his own came through him with predictions. He started believing that he was in fact the reincarnation of the famous Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet of Virginia Beach, who died in 1945. He even moved to Cayce's hometown to strengthen the connection. In the late 90s, he started appearing on Coast to Coast AM, and his star began to rise. The night before one of his appearances, a cold fusion researcher named Eugene Malove had been bludgeoned to death in his driveway. Speaking with Art Bell on the air, Wilcock immediately frames this as a cabal assassination of a truth-teller. This would become his lifelong template, and one taken up by conspiracy culture ever since. Any sudden death of any fringe figure was a targeted hit, and this is a clip from one of his appearances on the show. I think this one's with George Newry, though.
Why was the God of the Bible so evil? And let me rephrase that. I can't say evil, but so aggressively mean about things.
The angry God of the Old Testament is a Draco. And so you're going to see all of this Draco type of stuff that it's saying and doing, like I will smite thy firstborn and I will bathe you in blood and all this kind of crazy stuff.
Isn't a Draco a reptilian?
Yes.
And didn't they also confuse the Draco as the devil?
Yes. I mean, the Draco live in underground bases. They have vertical slit pupils and reptilian skin, and Christians have been saying that Satan lives in hell and hell is underground. And so there is some kind of weird,
that's amazing,
subconscious telepathic thing where we're tapping into something that's true.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
You know, I think actually I'm in.
So what's next for a popular Coast to Coast guest? Gaia, of course. From 2013 to 2018, he hosted a show called Wisdom Teachings, and here's an example from one of his episodes.
In a long series of episodes on Wisdom Teachings, I have gone into the scientific proof that the universe is alive and conscious, sentient and intelligent, and all of us are in various stages of amnesia. We have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten what we're here for. And there is a spiritual battle playing out on Earth right now. The cabal, these negative forces in the governments, is in fact a representation of some greater group that is fundamentally spiritual in nature, not physical. There is a spiritual group of what you could call extraterrestrial life that is manipulating events here on Earth for their benefit to create a fear farm.
The fear farm.
The fear farm.
What an incredible flex to be able to circle your own name on the QAnon map.
A couple years in, he teamed up with someone very familiar to our listeners, Corey Goode. Goode was one of the first secret space program influencers who coined the term 20 and back and said he met with the Blue Avian aliens. Their show was called Cosmic Disclosure and ran 3 years, apparently doubling Gaia's net worth. Wilcock didn't stop there. He became a recurring guest on Ancient Aliens, appearing in over 100 episodes. All of this made him one of the biggest names in the field, with multiple New York Times bestsellers, and he started getting high on his own supply. He built a new business around an offering called the Ascension Mystery School. It was a 7-week online course, initially priced at $333, a deliberate numerological choice, but soon raised the price to $533 because of inflation. The promise was not only personal ascension, but also salvation. From what? In Wilcock's own words.
The doom of a forthcoming alien invasion.
His framing around ETs became increasingly negative. These negative ETs feed off human suffering. They harvest a psychic emotional energy generated by trauma called loosh. Here he is on Coast to Coast, taking a call and giving advice to someone very worried about this loosh farming.
Can't agree with you more about what you're saying about fear being used as a way of controlling and manipulating people. I think when somebody's under stress or in fear, they can't use their abilities. And I noticed when I quit watching the mainstream news so much, I get all my news from George, and I quit drinking fluoride and some other things, my paranormal abilities just went through the roof.
Absolutely.
I read people's minds and think clear, and I think I've been in fear my whole life, worried about getting in an accidental nuclear war or some kind of event, and just, if I can get this fear off my back, I can use my abilities better.
Well, once you get rid of that fear, then you're no longer providing these negative entities with the food supply that they're using our planet as a farm for. That's really the bottom line, as crazy as it sounds.
They live on fear, don't they?
They actually do.
They feed it, they grow with it, they nurture it, and everything else.
And one of the contentious points is, why would a loving God create a universe this way? And the answer is that the hero's journey, the struggle between good and evil, is written into the cosmic nature of the universe itself.
Yeah. It's sad. Like that guy calling in, so emblematic of, I guess, the average American in a way.
What, they think that they're psychic?
Oh, well, if they stop drinking the fluoride, yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly I'm way more psychic.
In July 2018, Wilcock suddenly quit Gaia. His resignation letter was unhinged. Within its 10 pages, he accused them of promoting Luciferianism via its Ancient Civilizations program. Here's some direct passages.
The Ancient Civilizations show went forward on the Gaia network despite my public attestations of the evidence that pedophilia, human sacrifice, cannibalism, and Luciferianism are being practiced in elite circles. The show is literally saying that God is evil and Lucifer is God, who, also happens to be a reptilian alien. Seriously? How would this look if it all got dragged into the public eye, especially in the light of the overwhelming online movement called Pizzagate? Millions of people are now working to identify Luciferian elements in our society, and they are murderously angry about it.
Yeah, it's good. This was around the time that guy went into Comet Ping Pong with the gun. So this spiral coincided precisely with a new obsession of Wilcock's, of which Travis will now plunge us into.
Yeah, I think the story of like how David Wilcock got into QAnon is interesting because it just shows that for a 3-year period, QAnon had such a gravitational pull on everyone who was in the conspiracist space. They all had to reckon with it in some way, and he reckoned with it, I guess, early, and he just got really, really wrapped up into it by 2018. But I mean, I feel like Wilcock was a natural fit because core elements of the narrative of QAnon echo claims that have been long promoted by Wilcock. In a 2014 blog post, Wilcock claimed that
there is an international alliance taking down the so-called Illuminati power structure.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. This is always part of the optimistic kind of element of QAnon. It was like, it's not this despairing kind of like super powerful conspiracists who control us all. There's also a good deep state that's fighting the bad deep state.
Yeah, the alliance, as you call it.
Yes, the alliance. The blog post also states that
Pentagon insiders are working to create high-level arrests.
I mean, it's obviously identical to the QAnon narrative that a group of high-level military officials are on the verge of arresting evil elites. Now, in this passage from the blog post, Wilcock goes on to speculate that the public trial of high-level elites will radically change how people think about the world.
Very high-ranking cabal members who did not get killed or commit suicide will end up on national television revealing everything they know before a judicial panel. We may very well see famous pop stars and film actors in these tribunals revealing things we never would have expected them to say. This could go all the way up to senior elected officials and heads of state. If this ever happens, it will be the most revealing moment of modern history. Just imagine what it will be like to have presidents on national television breaking down in tears as they talk about how they were bullied, threatened, and tortured by an occult group. This cabal is so secretive that even the top-level people know a lot less about them than we would expect, but their stories will be extremely poignant. The collective walls of denial will break down. We will all be forced to move out of our comfort zone and accept new truths as self-evident facts. I mean, it's almost beat for beat, bar for bar.
Crazy that this was years before QAnon.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, think about Q is that it's like the people who are behind it obviously were well versed in conspiracist narratives, and they just stole left and right. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of the QAnon narrative was just directly ripped off from Wilcock. I mean, also, can you imagine George W. Bush weeping on television saying, "I didn't want to go to the Iraq War. I didn't want to do it, but the occulty Illuminatists, they bullied me. They bullied me so much.
They had a gun in my head. They had a pedophile in my hard drive."
So when Q made their first 4chan posts in October of 2017 and started to very rapidly gain traction, Wilcock took notice. So just a couple weeks after the first drop, Wilcock commented on it, but he was wary because he was more into another 4chan insider LARP called Mega-Anon. So at the time, he favored Mega-Anon because he claimed that he was in direct contact with them. But the pull of Q became too great. He wrote this.
At first, when I saw this, I felt like it was too good to be true. Another high-level insider started saying very interesting things, and clearly was not Mega-Anon. This whole release seemed to be in direct response to the attention Alex Jones, myself, and others had recently called to Mega-Anon, making it far more widely known. The corresponding silence of Mega-Anon had me fearing at first that he had been completely stopped and this new insider was part of the same operation. I wondered if someone was hoping that we would just forget about Mega-Anon and jump right over to Q as if nothing happened.
So by December 25th of 2017, Wilcock started treating Q as part of a significant disclosure stream. In a long post on his Divine Cosmos website, he wrote that Q's posts were very significant, claimed Mega-Anon considered the early Q briefings authentic, and said that Q's material predicted a kind of alliance overthrow of the deep state that he had long discussed. But by July of 2018, which happens to be the same month I took serious notice of QAnon, Wilcock gave Q his full endorsement. Wilcock described Q posts as an ongoing official effort to expose and defeat the deep state cabal, New World Order / Illuminati, and wrote that his very best intel confirmed Q was the legitimate public voice of the alliance. It got too popular. He had no choice but to fold the whole Q movement into his own narrative.
Of course.
He's like, everybody's into Captain Marvel, so I guess I gotta go over to Marvel. You know, I like DC quite a bit. I like some of their heroes a little bit more, but I'm going over to Marvel because they seem to have won the culture war.
His full Q-pilling coincided with this paranoia that started to take hold. And in live stream after live stream, Wilcock insists he's being gang-stalked, cyber-stalked, doxxed, and harassed.
Everything you ever thought was true in your life is a frickin' lie. You were lied to about every single thing. There are satanic communities where everybody's in on it, and they have mind control where you don't know they did anything. And they do it so well that you can't remember that they did anything. Hypnosis is a lot scarier than I thought. and it's been used a lot more than I thought, and so many victims are not aware that anything ever even happened to them. I have a personal stake in getting rid of these things because they abused me, and I am not happy about it. And if you think this is fake and you want to laugh at me and you think that I'm making up abuse memories and that this shit didn't really happen to me.
Yeah, you can hear him really starting to break down there.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Yeah, yeah. And this was from an interview with him on a similar subject.
In your case, you need to be careful.
It's not going to stop me. I'd rather die once at the hand of an assassin than die every day in fear of assassination. They've tried and tried and tried. I have been given death threats directly from the Rothschilds 3 different times. Shut up or we're going to take you out.
3 different times from the Rothschilds.
Interesting. Was it 3 different Rothschilds, or was it like, all the Rothschilds as a united front threatening over and over again?
Yeah.
Yeah, or is it like one of their attorneys, maybe?
So there was real harassment, to be fair, and it was very mean-spirited. There's a guy named Stephen Cambion who runs a YouTube channel called Truth Seekers that took genuine sadistic pleasure in tearing him apart. So here's Cambion talking about one of his harassment hijinks here.
Can you break down the dildo situation and where it stands right now?
Yeah, this is what happened. Several years ago, David Wilcock was talking about all his government insiders and his alien contact and his, higher beings that he's in communication with constantly. So I thought it would be a funny goof. And plus, he claims to be the world's greatest psychic. So I thought it would be a funny goof to bury a huge box of dildos somewhere for him. And so we did that. And I mean, I have proof that we did that. And he never found it to this day. And now I guess it's going to remain there. But we didn't break any laws. I did get somebody right up to his gate. I could have buried it right in front of his home, but we buried it someplace a nearby park that he hikes in. Good sources told me he hikes these trails in there every day. So we put it right by a tree in a trail he hikes. And to this day, he's never found it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, because I'm going to fucking, on my morning hike every day, I'm going to be like, I'm going to start digging at this random tree. You fucking
I don't understand how
idiots.
this is a prank or something you spend your time doing. What is the point here?
I got somebody. I almost trespassed, but instead we went to a nearby park and buried a box of dildos.
Yeah, some kid's gonna be walking his dog, and the dog's gonna dig it up and find this box of dildos.
All right, yeah, I got a lot of questions. Number one, where did you get these dildos? What kind of box? How deep is it? I mean, did you spend an entire day on this?
Dildos are not usually biodegradable. I think that you've committed a crime.
I know.
Yes, but yeah, if it's a public park, yeah, definitely.
It's turning bullying into an abstract performance art. It's not even directly targeting the person that they're trying to turn into a lolcow.
And apparently it was really expensive too, buying all these dildos. Yeah. So the same group would reply to almost every one of David's posts with these photoshopped images. And you guys on the next page, can you describe these?
Okay, yeah. So we have, of course, David Wilcock as a clown. He's got the red cheeks and a goofy striped shirt. He's as a thumb. He says his face has been photoshopped onto a thumb. And then here he is. He's sort of very fat and bald, and he's behind a turkey. I don't understand.
I think he's fucking a turkey.
He's supposed to be fucking the turkey.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I think a deer is supposed to be sniffing his butt too.
All right. So this is then of course he's just classically he's David Wilcock as Hitler. Boy, this is a bygone era when you wanted to bully people online. You had to actually get Photoshop. Nowadays with AI, it's too easy.
Yeah, these are pretty well done, I would say.
Yeah.
So 2023 marked the beginning of the end for Wilcock. He took a vanity job as Director of Advanced Technology at Stavati Aerospace, based in Niagara Falls. They claimed to be working on anti-gravity aircraft, but across its 25-year history, the company has never produced a single thing. Wilcock had reportedly sunk over $1 million of his own money into them, earnestly thinking their claims were legitimate. And here's some of their fake aircraft from the website.
Oh my!
Jake, can you?
Yeah, I mean, 4 people will understand this reference, but they look like spaceships from Escape Velocity.
Yeah,
which is an old Mac game or computer game.
Just terrible 3D renderings. So in February of 2023, Stavati was sued for RICO violations, fraud, and breach of contract. It was basically a Ponzi scheme, and David had spent nearly every penny he had on them. Earlier this year, Wilcock had locked in on a new target, the cluster of dead and missing UFO researchers that QAA covered a few episodes back. He started focusing every live stream on the subject. The 2 recent deaths he flagged as most suspicious weren't even scientists. They were Eric von Daniken and Nick Pope. Von Daniken died of old age at 90, and Nick Pope died of stage 4 esophageal cancer that had metastasized to his liver. Nevertheless, he folded them straight into the cabal narrative, and soon he'd be added to that list.
That's madness, because Daniken was the Chariots of the Gods guy, and so it's like, you're going to take a guy who's like heyday and popularity was in the 70s and kill him way later.
When he's
way
90.
too late. Yeah, when no one's listening to him anyways. Makes no sense.
Yeah. So on April 18th, he posted this on X.
My dear family, I am not yet sure if I am doing a YouTube show tomorrow. I've had some very intense stuff going on this weekend. Either way, I want you all to know how much I love and appreciate you! ! The
next day, April 19th, he goes live for what would be his final stream. The runtime is 3 hours and 33 minutes. He starts with the missing scientist thread and then weaves his own well-being into it.
Every day that I have on Earth is a gift and a blessing, and I'm very grateful for that because, frankly, people are disappearing. Scientists are going missing. Now they're saying they're going to investigate this. The president himself is saying they're going to look into this and see if anything's going on. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, and he looked a lot more sort of emaciated on camera and gaunt than usual, and he admitted to his audience that can't afford a balanced diet anymore, and the house he's renting in Colorado is infested with rodents and insects. On top of everything, he's a type 1 diabetic and says he can't afford insulin. He mentions, almost in passing, that the next live stream is going to be about whether Trump might be the Antichrist. He tells the audience he believes suicide is a sin and that he intends to die naturally. 24 hours later, on 4/20, he calls 911. Here's the minute by minute.
10:44 a.m. Boulder PD dispatch receives a call from a man identifying himself as David Wilcock. He says,
I need to leave. I will be to the left of the house.
He talks about his health issues and financial concerns. Dispatch asks if he's armed. He doesn't answer. They ask if he intends to harm himself. No answer.
10:47. Dispatch radios a deputy.
Type 1 diabetic is out of money.
Yeah, isn't that a fucked up, just a fucked up
That is
quote?
so
insane.
This episode is just doing some
This country is evil.
internal bleeding.
10:53. The first deputy arrives on the street outside his house. 11:01. The second deputy arrives. They plan their approach. 11:04. They pull up the driveway. 11:04 and 25 seconds. The deputies see him sitting outside the house holding a gun to his head. He says,
I'm sorry to put you through this.
They take cover. 11:04 and 42 seconds. They hear a single discharge. 11:05 and 27 seconds. The report simply reads,
Deputy witnessed the man shooting himself.
Yeah, so very tragic end there. And because our culture is so mentally poisoned, the conspiracies exploded within hours of his death. People seized on this tweet from 2022.
I plan on living, not suicidal at all, just concerned about what happens when you prove God is real.
Just concerned about something that proves that I'm basically mentally imbalanced.
Exactly. So yeah, his followers latched onto this as proof he was murdered instead of as an early warning sign of a very unwell mind. And so this was part of 3 competing explanations for his death. 1, he was suicided by the deep state, 12th in a cluster of dead UFO researchers. 2, he didn't die, he ascended or was placed into witness protection by the secret space program. 3, he killed himself but was under alien mind control. But there was a 4th explanation, and one that no one wanted to accept, which was he killed himself because of untreated mental illness, a Ponzi scheme, and couldn't afford his insulin anymore. So, of the angels and demons milieu, our 2 congresspeople, Anna Paulina Luna and Tim Burchett, both expressed suspicions. The latter writing,
Not cool. I just don't think there's any chance that this is just all coincidental.
Not cool?
Not cool.
Not cool. If I ever die, please don't say not cool.
Right. Some other posts here.
I can't help but wonder if he was forced to do it. David was open about his feelings and would have reached out to someone important. Thousands of loyal followers know David well enough. He wouldn't hurt a fucking fly.
He did not appear to be the least bit suicidal, which is causing suspicion. People and others are still very active that do not want UFO or Epstein files disclosure at any cost. The Alliance does not have this under control.
And Julian, do this one and read the who's tweeting this.
The patriotic blonde, trademark USA emoji.
Verified.
I watched David Wilcock's YouTube live stream that occurred 2 days before he died. He was upbeat. He spoke several times about how excited he was about projects he was working on and how excited he was for the future. In addressing the mysterious deaths of over a dozen fellow scientists, Wilcock said, quote, "That just goes to show how important it is to remember that every day is a gift and we should enjoy it as such," before going on to say that he was no way suicidal, quote, "just in case they killed him."
Yeah, and Jake, read this next one by Camelot Q. Carey.
Also verified.
Yeah.
David Wilcock, : "My psychic intuition is that David faked his death with the help of the SSP and is fine." I didn't see that coming. I have one verification from another known psychic on this. See the following live show recorded within 5 minutes of hearing the announcement. I was interviewing Clan Mother. What?
I'm not sure what that means, but
We
yeah.
don't know what that means? Oh, okay. Great. I was interviewing Clan Mother and healer Karen Ann Lusick McDonald. And partway through the show, we focused on David's supposed suicide.
The most level-headed response came from a very unlikely source, Jordan Sather, a longtime Wilcock acolyte and Qfluencer. He wrote,
"As I saw the photo of David's house, the realization hit me that it was him. My jaw hit the floor as I was processing what happened. I completely missed my turns and kept driving."
He went on,
Others online are grifting over David's death with theories that he never actually died. He faked his death with help from the Secret Space Program Alliance to help get him into witness protection or something. The schizophrenia, paranoia, and delusional thinking is rampant within the conspiracy theory community / truth movement.
This is fucking wild from Jordan Sather, isn't it?
I mean, Jordan Sather is an interesting case because he has long, sometimes pushed back against some of the wilder claims in his community. And I don't know. It's like he is someone who obviously he's promoted some really obnoxious shit.
Yeah.
But I think he's someone who is a little more grounded than some of the influencers in the space.
Well, Jordan really hated Travis, and I think he just thought about him for a really long time and was like,
It's true.
maybe this Travis guy is kind of onto something here of being he's like, maybe I could be the Travis view of the conspiracy community. And honestly, I think it's done him well. I think his life is probably better than it was 7 years ago.
George Tsoukalis of Ancient Aliens also eulogized.
I am sad, shocked. To jump on my keyboard right after David Wilcock's tragic and unexpected death felt wrong. We first met around 2005, 2006. Over the years, we presented at many of the same UFO conferences like Conscious Life Expo and Contact in the Desert, where we'd run into each other from time to time. He was a fun guy, intensely quick. David was always pleasant, engaging, and kind to me, always with a beaming smile and a twinkle in his eyes. Go have fun exploring the mysteries of the universe, David. We shall continue to do the same from here on Earth. Godspeed. My love and condolences to David's family and loved ones. Be kind to each other out there.
Yeah. And the family's own statement, released with the sheriff's report, said the cause of death was
a long struggle with depression and overwhelming financial debt. Many who knew him from afar have speculated that there is a cover-up involving his death, but we can assure you there was no foul play.
So 18 days after he killed himself, war.gov/UFO went live. The quote-unquote disclosure he had spent 20 years promising had seemingly arrived, but David Wilcock wasn't there to see it. So this was David's final sign-off from that live stream shortly before his suicide. So the clip starts, he's reading a few messages from his fans, which he did every live stream.
Kiko says, "Nice to see you in a good mood today, David. It lifts our spirits. Meditation, vibing together, shines so bright. Great show yet again. Much love to us all." Thank you very much, Kiko. "Thank you for another great show," says Vicky Cornwall. Venus Renata, "So it is, amen." Thank you guys so much. I really love you and appreciate you guys. I'm so glad that you're here, guys and girls. We will see you on the next time around. And I am so grateful, and we'll do the typical lead out here. And A-N-D, not E-N-D, and scene. There we go. All right, you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and scene right before he kills himself.
God.
Sad. So yeah, that's the tragic life of David Wilcock. But I'm gonna end out the episode with this photo or image that the President of the United States posted on Truth Social. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, tall, gray, taller than him. in shackles,
Mogging
walking
the
with him
shit
in
out
some
of
like
him.
Secret Service. Obviously, it's AI.
Yeah.
They're doing this annoying AI thing of like having the fake like thumb or finger in front of the camera lens type thing, just to make it seem extra realistic.
Extra
He's just having
candid,
fun.
yeah,
He's just reposting this shit like woohoo.
And the alien is ripped.
Yeah,
Jacked.
it's a very sexy alien. This guy, look at those delts.
Why is the alien in? It could even just with these shackles, it could reach over and twist his little. He could pop his little.
Straight out of Central Casting.
Yeah, it's very dangerous to let the alien this close to the president. Even she's just shackled in the front, like he could still pop his little. Right off, just eat him like a little olive, an appetizer. They've got him right there. You could just, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's very not good security.
It really seems like we've all entered a new dark age, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that
the king has posted another picture of him with a dragon.
I mean, I will say this about David Wilcock. I mean, he promoted a lot of this nonsense, secret space program and disclosure stuff for a lot less cynical reasons than the president did. You know,
true. That's true.
He seemed to be a true believer. He seemed to be inspired by the possibilities of contact and relationships with extraterrestrial life, whereas the president merely promotes this nonsense because he really thinks much of the country is rubes, and he can rile up people and distract them with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. At least David Wilcock isn't just, a pedophile murderer that's trying to distract us.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he rubbed anybody who, he sort of worked with in real life, the wrong way. People had good things to say about him.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for those who buried dildos outside his house.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we should all hope for as incompetent cyberbullies as David Wilcock had.
Sad, interesting story.
Yeah.
But very, very, very great research, guys. So I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, please check out my new solo project with John Gabris called Superstructure. And you can go find that at superstructurepodcast.com. I think you'll really enjoy it. We cover revolutionary struggles. We cover, propaganda and political repression. And a lot of effort is going into it, a lot of good research. So go check it out. Sign up if you'd like to, but at the very least, go listen to the free episodes.
Guys, go check it out. And once those episodes have ended and you're feeling maybe not so good about some of the power structures that have existed for decades in this country, you can get yourself a little dessert with the Spectral Voyager 2. All 6 episodes now available on Cursed Media. We don't talk about politics or generally human beings kind of impending doom. Instead, we explore, can consciousness exist outside of the brain? And what if ghosts are actually just time travelers? We don't answer any of those questions, but join us for the journey to, as we kind of goof around a little bit.
Yeah, and we might have some bonus content coming up with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And please follow us on Instagram. It's cursedmedia.net, like all spelled out. We are posting some, behind the scenes stuff there and more info on each episode.
We're just all slowly circling the drain. We're losing our minds. And so in
Quite
protest,
the opposite. We're resplendent. We're flowers opening up.
Yeah.
This spring,
exactly.
baby.
In response, we are just packing. We're looking into the cords of the Ethernet, and we're just stuffing as much content as it can fit in those little tubes, like the licorice that you can buy with the cream centers. It's all content. That's across Cursed Media, across QAA, across Julian's projects. Content. Brad just has a documentary premiere, Hot Docs in T-Dot, otherwise known as Toronto.
Yeah, I wanted to thank some QAA people for coming out to the screening. Was lovely.
Fun.
Yeah, lovely to see them. And
Awesome.
and John Inyaki from Twitter came and gave me some some art, which I really appreciated, and a couple other people came
Beautiful.
out.
John has amazing art.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I still have the Lambos hat he gave me.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. We're going to have our U.S. premiere in a couple months. I'll post some info about that. You can follow me on Brad WTF on Instagram or Love and Saucers on Twitter, and I'll put all that info there.
Yeah, you can also follow Julian Field on Instagram.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the QAA Podcast. We've also got a website, QAApodcast.com. You can also go to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/QAA. And we put out a whole second episode for every free one that releases. So if you haven't signed up yet, there's like over 300 premium episodes. That's 300 hours of content. Like I said, cream filling. If you haven't signed up yet, check it out. Check it out. There's some fun stuff in there. And
like you said, cream pie.
No, we didn't. No. But listeners, we miss you. We love you. We hope spring has been good to you. And until next week, may the deep dish bless you and keep you.
We have auto-queued content based on your preferences.
My mind is blown. It is not just David Wilcock that has just passed away, but other experts and colleagues in his field have also passed away. And they were all associated or featured in the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel. And now it's caused plasma physicist John Brandenburger. He posted this AI image and this message that says, "Dear friends, I have been told I am in danger as an anti-gravity and Mars investigator. But I tell you now that all humanity is now in danger. But so are the cover-up helpers. I urge a blanket amnesty for all in the cover-up who end it. Take this amnesty while you still can." So the rabbit hole took me down to this. All these men are linked to the show Ancient Aliens on the History Channel, and they have all allegedly passed away. And you guys know that I have to say allegedly, right? And I have to say that this could all be a conspiracy theory. It is all alleged. And of other professionals and colleagues from the show, including Nick Pope and Eric Von Daniken.